The Ravens are facing the Chiefs. How are the Ravens going to emulate what the Bills did in the run game to help try and take down Patrick Mahomes? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. In this video, we've got 6 of them before the Ravens do end up facing the Chiefs. We're going to be recording our podcast tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, I believe. It will be with AJ, Chiefs fan, friend of the show. Should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. Ask us questions if you want us to answer them. We'll probably put out a YouTube community section post. If you ever have any questions, just let us know. We'll talk with AJ about that as well. But in this video today, I wanted to talk about the Ravens run game and how they should attack the Kansas City Chiefs, because obviously the run game's a big aspect of it, and I don't really want to do like one video. I mean, I may do it at the very end of the week, getting closer to game time, on the the keys to success. I do like doing that, but I want to get a lot of analysis out this week on this game. This is the biggest Baltimore Ravens game that I've ever made videos about. Obviously the Super Bowls, the channel wasn't around back then. The channel was created right before the 2019 NFL season. Ravens haven't had a game as big as the AFC Championship in that entire time. So I want to talk about this as much as possible, all of the different theories and thoughts that I have with it. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about that run game, because the Ravens have 3 running backs, and then they obviously have Lamar Jackson at quarterback. How should they go up against the Chiefs, who against the Bills did struggle a little bit stopping the run? And I'm going to run through the statistics a little bit so that we can get a game plan, because one of the ways that the Bills were able to run the ball so effectively was through Josh Allen. And it wasn't necessarily a lot of Josh Allen scrambles. They did run a couple of QB sneaks with Josh Allen that were successful, but that's because Josh Allen, outside of Jalen Hurts, is the best QB sneaker in the league. But Josh Allen, 12 carries, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then James Cook was the primary running back, 18 carries, which is more than he traditionally gets. 18 carries, 61 yards. And then Ty Johnson, 7 carries, 40 yards. And then the abysmal Damar Hamlin fake punt. One of the worst play calls I've ever seen in my entire life, but whatever. And then they did try a rush with Stephon Diggs for 7 yards. 39 carries, 182 yards, 4.7 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. The biggest thing to note in this rushing attack was there were no big runs, right? There were no runs that were inflating the statistics. The longest run of the game for the Bills was 18 yards. That was a Josh Allen run. And that's something where we can look at and say, okay, the defense was weak all game. The Chiefs defense did tighten up towards the end of the game in the fourth quarter. I felt like they did a better job stopping the run, but at the beginning of the game, it looked really bad. But there wasn't anything crazy explosive. And that's kind of like how the Ravens run game is. The Ravens have an elite rushing attack, the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. And even last week against the Houston Texans, when the Ravens ran the ball exceptionally well. They ran for over 200 yards. Every single person was getting involved. However, at the same time, it wasn't a situation where you're watching it and you're like, 55-yard run, right? Where they're just breaking them. The Ravens weren't breaking them. They were breaking the Texans' defense. They were consistently churning out 5-6 yards a carry and were able to get first downs quickly and stay on schedule to trying to get that first down. Because when you're facing a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, who do have a really good defense, the Ravens need to be able to rush the ball early in the series to be able to start opening up the deep shots potentially, or just giving the Ravens options, right? If you get to 2nd and 4, you can either take a shot, or, if the shot fails, Lamar Jackson might scramble, right? Like, the Ravens didn't try any shot plays against the Texans. Now, they definitely called plays they wanted to take shots on, but it wasn't open. What happens? Lamar scrambles around. Sometimes he's able to rush for a first down anyway. Giving yourself those opportunities are a lot more beneficial, because if you get into situations where you go out there and you're like, oh, it's second and 11 or 2nd and 9, the Chiefs might be playing a little bit farther off. They're more expecting the pass. It's going to be harder for the Ravens to get a big play. That's why teams always love 2nd and short. It's easier to get the first down. You can take a shot. Just gives you a lot of options. And based on how the Bills-Chiefs games went, that's kind of like how the Ravens are going to be able to run the ball. I don't expect 50-yard runs. I'm hoping for 5 to 6 yards. On a lot of first downs, rushing the football. And so with that in mind, I think that the primary running back should actually be Justice Hill. Now, a lot of people may say, McConnell, why would you say Justice Hill if you're saying we want to get like 5-6 yards a carry? Because Justice Hill, I think, is just that much more explosive than the Ravens' other running backs. And Justice Hill also provides that pass-catching ability where we saw it in the game against the Miami Dolphins, Lamar Jackson throwing those wheel routes to Justice Hill. That's an added effect that Justice Hill can bring to the table. He's also a willing pass blocker, but the biggest thing is when Justice Hill is on the field, it could be a run, it could be a quick pass to Justice Hill, or it could just be a passing play where Justice Hill is blocking, or he can run a Lamar Jackson designed quarterback run, whatever it is. When Gus Edwards is on the field, you don't really expect, okay, he's going to motion out, you could throw it to him really quickly. It just takes that effect away. Now, 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2, Gus Edwards should be in on the field. That's where Gus Edwards is great, short yardage situations. Now, he does have a little bit of burst. I'm not saying he's slow, he can't have a big run, but what Gus Edwards is great at is grinding out a couple of yards, getting those quick first downs. He's great at finding gaps because he's a smart running back. If you guys ever play Madden, I play Madden a lot. One of the biggest things when I'm trying to run the football is situational awareness, right? If it's 1st and 10 and I'm running stretch, right? And I think to myself, I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of a hole, but there's 2 linebackers there, right? They might hit that hole. Or maybe I can get this around the edge. 1st and 10, I'm probably going to try and get it around the edge. Why? To try and get that big play. Gus Edwards is smart. If it's 2nd and 1, he's going to see that small gap and be like, I can get 2 yards here. That's all I need, right? I'm not going to risk trying to take it around the edge. I'm going to find the hole and I'm going to hit it. Justice Hill is the other way around. Justice Hill is always looking for the big play. And that was something that hurt him initially in his career as a primary running back, was that he was an east-west guy. He just could not run north-south. And it was like, dude, come on, turn it upfield. He's gotten a lot better this year. He's been hitting the holes a lot more often. And I think his speed and explosiveness and versatility out of the backfield gives the Ravens a bigger advantage than having Gus Edwards there on a 1st and 10 situation. Now, down the stretch of the game, if the Ravens are winning or whatever, if you want to feed Gus, go right ahead. He wears down the defense. But remember, the Chiefs have a good defensive line. They've got this guy, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. His name's Chris Jones. He's the brother of John Jones, the greatest UFC fighter of all time. But Chris Jones is one of the best defensive interior linemen the NFL has seen outside of Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt. Now, J.J. Watt did play all across the line. He also played edge, but he lined up on the interior a fair bit as well. Outside of those two, Chris Jones is probably the best of this century. Like, he's that good. So running the ball up the middle with Gus Edwards consistently might not be the best strategy for the Ravens run game. I like attacking the edges. I like attacking the big play, doing it out of shotgun as well, which allows Lamar Jackson to be more involved. All of these things are big factors. I think running the ball is going to be the biggest key to the Ravens' success, because if they can't run the ball, the Chiefs do have good pass rushers. They have good cornerbacks. It's going to be difficult in 3rd and long situations to try and get that first down. It was difficult for the Bills to get the first down in 3rd and long situations. And the Bills have Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs was getting clamped, right? Luckily, the Ravens look like they're going to have Mark Andrews back, knocking on wood. That's going to be a huge help. Also, in the blocking game, that's also going to be a big help. But in my opinion, when the Ravens are running the football in this game, if they want to be successful, I think they need to ride Justice Hill. I don't necessarily need a lot of Lamar Jackson runs, but I do like the read options that the Ravens started the game with against the Houston Texans, because like Todd Monken mentioned, Lamar wants the ball in his hands. So he's going to be willing to take those risks and at least give himself an opportunity. My biggest criticism of why the Bills lost to the Kansas City Chiefs was they took the ball out of Josh Allen's hands, right? They decided to go for it on 4th and 5 in the 4th quarter in a one-possession game at like their own 30-yard line. Whatever. You have Josh Allen, you believe in him, go for it. Except they took Josh Allen off the field and they ran a fake punt with Damar Hamlin. That is a horrible play call. If the Ravens did that, I would want Harbaugh fired immediately. Why? Because you took your best option at a first down, took him out of the play, and then decided, let's try and trick them. The best way to succeed is not tricking someone. It's by having your best players out there on the field. Letting Lamar Jackson run read option and have even the threat of read option keeps your best asset on the field, keeps the defense guessing, right? When you go under center and run, power to the right, or you run, zone read, whatever, up the middle, yes, there is a threat that Lamar Jackson does that little fake handoff and rolls back around, but most of the time they know they're just going to crash the middle. But when you're going shotgun or pistol and you see Lamar Jackson handing the ball off, that edge defender is thinking, I got to stop Lamar. They back off, takes one guy out of the play. Ravens are able to get first down. So keep the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands, run it with Justice Hill, and use that versatility to try and propel your offense into better situations. Second and short, third and short, and even avoiding third downs altogether. Super excited for this game. Let me know in the comment section down below any questions you guys have. We're going to be recording our podcast pretty soon this week. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more Daily Ravens content, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow.